Hello everyone, I am Saidin Norian G. Pahayat, a third-year Bachelor of Elementary Education student from Norso Shato. Today, we will be discussing about the approaches to English as a second language, communicative language teaching.
But before anything else, this will be our objectives for today's lesson.
So CLT means we learn a language not just by memorizing grammar and vocabulary, but by using it to interact with other people. So, communication is both the way we learn and also the end goal. The idea is we learn to talk by talking. So here, teachers act more like guides. Instead of just telling you the rules, they create activities where you have to use English in real situations or in real life situations, like role plays, group discussions, or problem solving. So, the teacher gives you tasks, but the real learning happens when you and your classmates talk to each other in English. According to Richards and Rogers 2001, communicative language teaching is best considered an approach rather than a method. It refers to a diverse set of principles that reflect a communicative view of language and language learning and that can be used to support a wide variety of classroom procedures. As stated by Richards in 2006, the CLT requires learners to participate in cooperative classroom activities rather than be involved in an individualistic approach to learning, and the role of the teacher is that of a facilitator to enable the students to develop fluency in using the language. This means CLT is flexible. It's not one strict set of steps. It's more like a philosophy or mindset for teaching language. Teachers can use many different activities as long as they encourage communication. So, CLT is adaptable depending on the needs of the classroom. So there are 5 principles and approaches of communicative language teaching. Communicative language teaching is guided by these 5 key ideas. We have communication first. Language is learned best through real communication. Next is functional use. So it's about what language does, like asking, apologizing, and sharing opinions, not just rules. Next is tasks or activities. Activities that can mimic real-world situations. Another is collaboration. The students learn more by working together. And lastly, we have the student-centered. So you take responsibility for learning, not just rely on the teacher. So in here, we will be discussing about the activities, the example activities of communicative language teaching. We have role plays, interviews, debates, chain stories, pen pal letters, games, and projects, or any. So this is because to practice language, we use activities that feel natural and real. For speaking, you might do role plays like ordering food at a restaurant. For writing, you might write letters to a pen pal. For integrated skills, projects and games are used. So the key is activities are interactive, fun, and practical. Now, we will be discussing about the impact of communicative language teaching on proficiency. So research shows communicative language teaching improves speaking, fluency, vocabulary, problem solving. So, the studies prove that CLT is effective, that the students using CLT become better speakers, learn vocabulary in real context, and get fluent faster. So they also develop problem-solving skills since many activities involve working together to solve a task. So we are already done discussing about the impact of the CLT or the communicative language teaching. Here, we will be discussing about the disadvantages of the CLT. So the disadvantage of CLT is that prioritizes fluency over accuracy. So one challenge is that CLT or the communicative language teaching focuses so much on speaking fluently that students sometimes keep making the same grammar mistakes. So these mistakes can become permanent. So we call this fossilization. That's why teachers still need to balance fluency and accuracy. So now we will be discussing about the benefits of the communicative language teaching. So develops communicative competence, functional language use, confidence, cultural awareness. So the strengths of CLT or the communicative language teaching outweigh its weaknesses. It not only helps you speak better, but also teaches you how to use the language in different situations. You become more confident, more independent, and more culturally aware since many materials involve real-world contexts. So to sum it all up, class, the communicative language teaching or the CLT is about learning a language by using it to communicate, not just by memorizing rules or vocabulary. Unlike traditional methods that focus on grammar drills and teacher lectures, the CLT puts the spotlight on interaction, collaboration, and real-life tasks. In this approach, students talk more than the teacher, work in pairs or groups, and engage in activities like role plays, debates, interviews, or projects. The teacher's role is mainly to facilitate and guide learning, not dominate the class. So the big advantage of the CLT is that it makes you more fluent, confident, and able to use English in real-life situations. Yes, sometimes grammar accuracy is sacrificed, but overall, it builds strong communication skills, problem-solving abilities, and even cultural awareness. So if we put it simply, we don't just learn English to pass a test. We learn English to use it. And the communicative language teaching is the approach that helps us do exactly that. So that's it for today's video, class. I hope you learned something from our discussion today. See you on the next one.